Hello, it's Andy Graham of the Ask Andy Show. My name is Andy Graham. I'm with hoboontheroad.com. I've traveled non-stop for 16 plus years. I've went to 90 countries and lived in them for about a month or two at each country. Okay, Ronnie from Raleigh, North Carolina. Ask. I really enjoy your YouTube. Talking about the problem. I often heard you talking about the thievery problems of Mexico, Central, and South America. What do you think is the percentage of dishonest people down there? Well, that's $1 million question. I mean, dishonesty has many different forms. I mean, in Thailand, they don't steal anything hardly in Thailand. I mean, you can leave money on the table and they won't steal it. You can leave money on Togo, Africa on the table and they won't steal it. But they'll lie. Oh, they call it the Thai lie. Okay, Thai lie. Everybody's got a different way of being dishonest, and I think on average, most countries are relatively the same. Americans will lie. They say on average an American lies one lie every 10 minutes or something like that. The average person lies constantly, and if they can lie and get away with it, that's the problem. So what happens to do is, I mean, in America, it always becomes more and more difficult to lie and get away with it in person. Now that's why the internet's really thriving, because they can lie and get away with it. There's like no oversight. Maybe in the travel industry is rampant because the hotel can say all these lies, and you know, I'll give an example. In Kenya, they actually got resorts in the middle of nowhere that they built. And they bring the people into these resorts and make them pay like, I don't know, $300 a day. And they got some, you know, elephants and tigers, and not tigers, probably elephants and different, you know, people, Maasai warriors walking around. And they bring them all in, and they have fake authenticity. And the person is sold a complete lie all the way through. And the bottom line, when you get scammed like this and you paid $300 to, you know, $4,000 for the trip, you don't go tell anybody. And that's why it works. It's because nobody will admit. Well, if you're staying in a $5 hotel and you get ripped off, you tell everybody. Okay. Thievery. I mean, cultures, there's cultures that believe that, I mean, like China, I think, and Thailand and Togo, West Africa, many of the West Africa countries believe that stealing is unacceptable. And the local people will get very vigilant and basically very dangerous. They will stop it. Okay, but they don't consider lying a problem. So if somebody puts on a scam, they consider that just normal stuff. Okay, what's different about, and I don't know what happened. My theory on Mexico, Central America, and South America is that it was basically colonized by a bunch of pirates. And if you think about it, everybody, the conquistadors, buccaneers, kyers, they call privateers. You know what a privateer is? A privateer is when the government of a country says to a pirate, you can go be a pirate, go steal, attack the British ships. You, Spain, we help you, we authorize you, you're a privateer. You just have to share some of the money back with us. That's a privateer. Same as a pirate, but the pirate doesn't share it with the government. Okay, and then you had conquistadors that really wanted to go to Central and South America, Mexico, to steal all the money. They stole, you know, Aztec gold, right? This set the basic flavor for all the colonization that was in Central and South America. It was all a bunch of conquistador pirates, okay? And what I believe is that everybody, this kind of mentality of if you can take it and get away with it, it's yours. And I think this is the problem. I mean, the local cultures, the Quechua cultures in South Africa, the Aztec, you know, they also had, you know, but when it becomes socially acceptable to steal and you don't really get the, you know, you don't get kicked out of the community because you steal, then it becomes rampant. And in most of Central and South America and Mexico, it's just considered, it's always okay in most cultures to steal from rich people. But in Central and South America, they just believe that if they can get away with it, it's almost like a badge of glory if they can steal something. So it's that. But what percentage of dishonest people down there? I don't really think it's a higher percentage of dishonesty. It's just a higher percentage of thievery. And there are countries where theft is much higher than others. And I won't evade it. I mean, Central South America, Mexico. Mexico is like, they used to call it institutionalized corruption. It's got to be one of the more dangerous countries I've ever been to. And I spent almost a year there. And I just really never believed that when I finally left Mexico, because it's like the first country I visited, it was like a breath of fresh air. I suddenly had, I didn't have this ever-present desire to steal stuff from me. Yeah, Guatemalans steal like water too. But it's just not like a business. I mean, in Mexico, it was institutionalized. It was like the whole government was after me. They're better. They had an election. I don't know. They got a new president after 69 years, and it's getting better. But it's still not good. I mean, these cultures don't change overnight. It takes like 2 or 3 generations, like 60 years to change a culture. There are cultures that don't steal, and there's cultures that steal. There's almost all cultures will lie if it's to their advantage. So that means that dishonesty by lying is almost universal. And in America, really, we have less dishonesty by lying because they don't get away with it and they could be held liable. Okay? If you're not held liable for a lie, then... And you see that in the liberal, politically correct thing. Nobody's held liable for their lies. They just basically get up there and lie, and everybody just has willful blindness and accepts it. When you sit and listen to a lie, you have a gentleman's agreement that you'll do it. I mean, watch the movie with Gregory Peck, by Gentleman's Agreement, where they're basically agreeing to listen to Jewish jokes. It's an excellent movie. I mean, in the 1940s, 50s, whatever, they actually made movies that were better. Right now, they're, basically bad boy movies, right, where it's beneficial to be a bad boy. So what percentage? But the amount of theft in, I'll give him a number. He wants the percentage of dishonest people. The percentage of people willing to steal in Central and South America is probably, Mexico is a little higher than the other places, but it's let's say it's 1 in 50 people. So it's it's not very high, 2%. 2% of the people just don't have any remorse whatsoever about stealing. We think everybody's going to feel guilty when they steal. There's people that steal that never feel guilty. I mean, this idea that everybody feels guilty for what they did, that's just hokey pokey. That's the the church talking, right? There's people that steal without even the slightest bit of remorse. They just call themselves clever and they're really happy. You see it on the internet. These guys will do all these anonymous stuff and they act like they're really clever when they say something anonymous. Like somehow... And then people act like, yeah, in their celebration of idiocy, right? But 1 in 50, but, that 1 in 50 is compared to Thailand, where it's 1 in, 400 or 1 in 500, or Togo, where... A lot of these countries, but it's about it's whether the local culture tolerates it. Like I go to Lago Atalan, and they do not tolerate crime at all. They actually wrapped up some girl... Some father tied him up and put him in front of the police station and burned him and killed him. Yes. When I was in Haiti, they grabbed somebody and took him to the police station. In West Africa, hey, I know actual people that say stories they've seen somebody get killed for stealing. If you don't hear this kind of story, I mean, when the locals decide it's enough, they stop it. But, at the end of the day, this all has to be of the government. If the owner of the country is a thief, I mean the owner of the country, that's how bad I think about people. Presidents and dictators own countries and they use them as their receptacle to make money. Okay, that's the bottom line on about 200 countries on the planet. And if they don't care about theft, there's theft. And, You know, the only way you get in trouble is if you steal from them. But they basically send out other people to steal from their people. That is the job of a country, to steal from its people money, so that the people that are, the group of people that are controlling the country are rich. And you see it the reason why people get in political offices is so they can control the lobby forces to make more money for somebody, right? And they get, why do you have lobbyists? You have lobbyists in America so that they can get a guy to, you know, they basically give $3 million. How do these politicians get money? It's not straight honest. It's a form of dishonesty. They have to vote along the lines of the pharmaceutical company that gave them all the money. But dishonesty is about universally the same when it comes to lying. It's actually, the thieving part is when the culture accepts it. In Central South America and Mexico accept this as part of life, and they just tolerate it. They don't really care that somebody steals. They'd rather be the person that got... See, corruption's not... People think everybody despises corruption. People that are in corrupt countries don't want corruption to stop. They want to be the one collecting the money. Okay, they're just jealous of the person that gets to collect the money. So this is the problem. It's never what you see in America. Well, you got this fantasy vision of how people treat each other and how they should treat each other, but we're very lucky because it's a very safe place, unless you go into a, you know, inner city ghetto with a bunch of guns. That's dangerous. Okay.
We can pack up tomorrow. Tonight, let's flip a